סימן Kitzur Shulchan Aruch, לבישת בגדיו והלוכו, ובוי חסיד the dinim, the laws, the halachos of putting on clothes and the way a person should walk. It says, a person should go with the lbister and its sneeze in a modest way. And therefore, person should be sneeze, he should be humble, he should be modest in all of his ways, in all of his doings. שער בגד שער בשאר ידעק מי צלוי לגאלי says גופוי אל ילביש ויאבשיט כשהוא שייך על משכב מחוסה. Therefore, a person should always make sure that all the parts of his body that have to be covered will be covered. If he has to change, it should be under his cover. But in a place where it's not possible, like for example in a shower, or if he's going to the river, the lake, the beach, whatever it may be, and he's next to the water, he should try to be as close as he could to be to the nar, and over there he should put his inyanim, go to mikveh, do whatever he has to do. A person shouldn't say that I'm in my room, the door is locked, the lights are off, who could see me in the darkness? Because a person shouldn't say, nobody could see, because the lbister knows everything, he sees everything like we mentioned in the past. Levishah calls out, he sees, he knows everything. So here he continues and he explains this idea that it's a different idea, but it's the same idea at the same time. There's no difference between light and dark in front of the Levishah. And this that a person has bittul and a person is humble, that brings him to the union of Yerushalayim, dafka through tznius and bosha. See base. In hogen begoeken is evlik gehoben loy met damin lohem lelboshem loy בשאר קיצור. Person should make sure you should be careful not to go in the chukis agayim, to try to be like a guy, whether it's in any way a guy acts, or whether it's in the hairstyle, or it's in the shoes, or in the underpants, or whatever it may be. If it's a way a guy goes, it is asur api halacha. Shenema, like it says in the pasuk, like telchem b'chukis hagayim, and nemar b'chukis same place leichel, nemar. Hishomer l'chol pentin al kshacharayim, lo yilbash malbush ham yuchel lahem, l'shum geif, which is gaiva, you shouldn't put on the clothes that they wear, v'loi malbush sarim, and not the fancy and the special clothes of the rich people. Like it says in the Gemara, the also the Yisrael, the damish lam afilu, but the two ways haminol. It's forbidden for a yid to copy a guy even in the shoelaces. Shima hayadar kam the kshera ka, who that Yisrael when in acher, oh you mean like the Yisrael, the two ways adu mitzvah Yisrael shachayis. Whether it's in the way they tie the shoes, whether it's in the way the color, it's also for you to go after the guy because the guy does it. Specifically, the idea of black goes on humbleness, modesty, quiet, shiftless with sneers. If you this person should know is each person in his place, and it's time to keep to the halachos. And especially the clothes which were made for gaive, being boast, and pritus, and just be open, you should stay away from it. The clothes should bring you to having achno, bending yourself, turning yourself to the lbister and bittul and sneers. Just the clothes could already put you in a atmosphere and a feeling, and you should do something, you shouldn't do something, is dafka from the clothes. It has an effect. What does it say in the Sifrei? They have purple clothes. I also want purple clothes. Because they have klizayin, they go out with different. Back in the day, the Gemara in Shabbos speaks about the idea of they used to have a sword that used to be a tachshit. So the way a guy does it, it's also for you to say, oh, I also want to have that, whether it's a weapon or whatever it may be, it's also for you. Ani eite bekulsin shedvarim halal divrei shachat gaive hey loike loike Yaakov. It's not the way you should act. Well, the dark one is to even love nice. Elder Havi, okay, Nicole Davish and Nogul and Minui, Hoig the equal the Mechash by Shemets, Akum the Yasa, Yistrokin, Fin Lo, you got Leach. Although you got the side of the Dushe, Kamoyim. You has to know there's the Yiddish way, same thing is the here, same thing is with the nails, Aliyah, Mulum, Mehen, Alushav. You should be careful, try to be the way he shows himself is with his clothes, with Diburi, the way he speaks, Beshar, myself, and any other Ma'isa that a person does, it should be nicker in him. Make sure move on mehem, medaite, medaiso, the chenoimer, aglas, and arm, the same way a person is different. The way the Lelbus created us is in our midis, and in our day, the way we look, the way we act, the way we think. Like it says in the Pasuk, Abdlaskim in arm, the Lelbus made us different than all other nations. Halachah Gimel, Sif Gimel. Lo yilbas b'gadim ikarim. A person shouldn't wear fancy, expensive clothes. Maybe you saw them the guy because this itself, like you mentioned, that the clothes itself could put somebody into the mode of having guy because he's wearing fancy, expensive clothes. At the same time, he shouldn't go with cheap clothes and dirty clothes and smelly clothes and all the good stuff and the fabring and everything, heading. It's not the way the Lelbus wants. It's brought down in the Gemara Shabbos, Talmid Chacham with the Ravava, the whole idea is we have to have derech haמצוה, not expensive and not shmatas. And you should make sure that the clothes is not inside out. That he shouldn't be, in the eyes of other people that look at him. And it's it's not only the Yiddies representing the Lelbus, and especially in the other people are around. As I get a mensch, as I clear there, this is the way he walks. It's not the way it should be. It's embarrassing. What should he have? Here he comes and he tells you, Allah, even if you have to sell the beams of your house to buy shoes, the first clothes a person should be careful and make sure he has is his clothes for his feet. We find that the right in Torah is special. We also find not only in the Avodah but in the Beis Hamikdash Gufa and the Karbanis, you find that in the whole idea of doing mitzvahs, we do it with our right hand and starting with the right. Therefore, lebisha b'shaar the same thing is when we put on and other inyanim. He brings down when he's taking a shower, washing himself. It's always with the right. You should start with the right. Yemin ושמאל. And the Alter Rebbe says that it's important, that it's better that while you're putting on your shirt or whether it's your pants or whatever it may be, you should hold it both sides, the whole beged in the right side, and you start with the right and then you go to the left. Machalitza, something no one taking off, בשאר, בגדיו, יחד, so smell תחילו, שזהו כובד של ימין, you should take off the smell first and then the right, because that is the coverage for the right. When we come to tie, However, when it comes to tying, we find that tying is smail is more important, like we find by tying on your left hand it's tefillin. When he has to tie, yikshir shel smell tchila. Aggoim, in all these kשירה, when he ties his shoes, he should tie the left one, noil shel yemין, kשירה. He puts on the right one because the right one has to have its cover. He puts on the left one, and then he starts to tie the left one, and then he goes back to the right one. Noil shel yemין, kשירה, noil shel smell, kשירה, בשאר בגדים. Same thing is with other b'gadim. Halakha hey, yizarim, lelbus, stay b'gadim, b'yachad mishum, the kashal shikha. It's important that you shouldn't put on two clothes at the same time because it brings two shikha. Here he doesn't mention it, but the idea of taking off two clothes, there's a machlekes in the paiskim if it's the same gather. Mitzad halacha here, he does not mention taking off. He only mentions the idea of putting on two levushim at the same time. Hamachmir, tavel abracha, it does mention in other svarim, psky about taking off more than one lelbus at the same time. Also, it's also forbidden to go dollar amrus or say anything without a yarmulke. Especially now in our time, also it's not. It's also Rapi Allah now because the takana that people go with the Kitzur. So already now your head is in Makom HaMechusar, and it's also for him to sit, even just to sit, without a Kitzur because it is not tznius. But if his hand is on his head, it's good enough for a cover. It's had sneeze, but it's not good enough inside the bracha because he brings down later in the Shulchan Aruch, and it's brought down also in the Indian of Chassidus. Ein esa master al etzem. Your hand cannot be a kisi for yourself, but however, your friend's hand can be. You can ask your friend, is your etzem? So Shaila in mitzad halacha, mitzad haguf, in kanabakim, aber das ist eine gute. Chassid mein Sprach. We have to train the kids to cover their head even while they're small, even before the age of chinuch. That they should have Yerushalayim, and it's brought down in the Zohar that a person should always have two coverings. And we know that the Rebbe Rayatz always had two kippas, two yarmulkes. The idea is that he says indoors the roof can be considered a second cover, but however outside there should be another covering. The whole idea of a yarmulke comes from the world of Yirei Malka, to be afraid of the Lbish. The whole idea of having Amos of the Sheminer brings down from the Gwan and Shabbos of Kuf Nun Zayin, Kuf Nun Vav, or the base. The idea of the story we find over here is Matzinu B'Ram Nachman Bar Yitzchak. What was the Ma'aseh Im so that Ram Nachman Bar Yitzchak Amalei Ka Doi Chayzer B'Kichav Brich Gan V'Have, your son will be a gan. If that's what the stargazers told to the mother of Ram Nachman Bar Yitzchak. Loi Shabte L'Gili Reishe, if they told him they should make sure that there should always be a covering on the head. He shouldn't take off the yarmulke, the kisui, the hood that he had on his head. Amr Alei Kisui Reishe Kihecha, the heavy Alei Emes D'Shmai V'Chodu, that he should have a kisui on his head the whole time. He should have Yerushalayim, and Gemara Shabbos Daf from the Vav on the base. Also, Leilach Kum Zekufo V'Gad Natuya. There's one idea that a person goes with his back up like he owns the world, he owns the street, and there's also that his neck is Kevin Skufu got in the tuya. It's also you shouldn't do it. Afilo Pachas Marabamas even less than 4 Ambais. Ki Indian Shenemar Vatecho Natuyan got in the game, and we find in the Pasuk Mekamakum Lo Yachaf Reisha Yeis Minai Elo Midan Sabene Venus Reisha Shire Es Abba Keneged Honob Gam Yide Midrach Kafragloi, like it's brought down in the Sefer HaYiddish. So it's very important that you shouldn't go like a balagaiva with your neck up, with your shoulders up. At the same time, you shouldn't go over a hunchback like I don't know what. So the idea is that he should be able to see where he's walking. He should be able to see if somebody's coming towards him. With the bainis, Gam Halchi Shalodam Nikor Im Nikor Chacham Baldeo Oi Shaita Sachel. And he also says that the fact that you see how a person walks, you can see if the guy is a chacham, if he's a smart man, he's a wise man, or he's a shaita, he's a fool, he's a sachil, he's a clown, someone that doesn't know, that. You can see from that's the way the person walks, the way he acts. We find by Shloim HaMelech, and Gam Derech Shal Sachel Heilig, Libay Chassid, V'Omer L'Akel Sachelu, Hu Meidi L'Akel L'Atzma Yishut Sachel. Just the fact, the way we see him act, we could already know what type of person his eyes, something's bothering him. The way he acts, we can see the way he's walking, we see who he is, we can see about the person. The last, if Halacha Ches Yesh Lizar Shleilech Ish Ein Shtei Nashim, a person shouldn't go between two. Sham is the ban, two ladies, or Ein Shnei Klavim, or two dogs, Oy Shnei Chazirim, two Davarachas, a Chazir, Chein, the Dekel Shel Tamarim, and a palm tree of a Tamar, date. You should also be careful not to go through two snakes. The same thing is vice versa. A person should make sure that these inyanim don't go through him.